The plan for today's video is to figure out what the best way to create a daisy on a weaving is, and then to create a little daisy woven wall hanging. So let's get started. Test number 1 is embroidery. The first stitch I tried was just with some 2mm cotton rope, just trying to create some sort of flower shape. It didn't work very well. That looks so bad. This is why we test things. The second one was a stitch called the Lazy Daisy stitch. This is a normal embroidery stitch. It also didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to. And the third one was just with some cotton yarn, just trying to create some sort of circular shape. I think this one was the most successful. The biggest challenge with putting embroidery on this weaving is there's not as many places to stitch in as a regular fabric, so it just didn't work that well. For the second test, I used merino wool roving and stitched in some petals similar to the embroidery stitches, but in the center I did needle felting to create some different texture. For the last test, I used one of our little flower looms to create a yarn flower with some roving yarn, and I needle felted the center just to give it a different look than the normal yarn wrapped center I would do with these looms. I'm really liking the look of this one. All right, you guys, we have all 3 of the tests finished, and I'm actually really surprised about the results because I thought for sure going into this that the embroidery stitch one was going to be my favorite one. It just doesn't look good. I think maybe if it was on a larger scale, it could work. But the problem with doing small embroidery stitches on top of weaving is that you don't have the same amount of precision in where you're stitching in because it is a bulkier woven cloth, as you can see here. The second one I do really like, but it is so bulky on the back. I'm not a huge fan of just the way it looks on the back at all. The third and final test I think is my favorite one. The petals look more precise, and daisies do have a lot of petals, so I think it looks the most accurate. Not that it needs to look super accurate. The best part about this one is that it's so clean on the back, which is something I'm a huge fan of because, again, we want this to sit really nice and flat on the wall. As I was doing these tests, I was also thinking about the different color combinations I was testing, and ultimately I think I'm really loving this blush pink. So let's get started making a weaving. I love how simple this piece is. I've been wanting to make a piece like this for so long, and I'm just so happy with how simple and beautiful it is. To learn more about making these yarn flowers, check out our yarn flower tutorial.